Did you know that drug and alcohol addictions can start at a very early age? Sometimes even before a child's teenage years begin. Every day, more and more children are falling into the temptation of trying out drugs. Let me help you understand why this happens. High school can be a whole new world for some children, meeting a new group of friends that may be older who they just want to fit in with. Nobody wants to deny your teen a reasonable amount of privacy, just as no one wants to allow drug abuse to have free reign over our children. Peer pressure is also a big part of high school, which also plays a big role in drugs. To solve this issue, lessons on drug and alcohol are incorporated into middle and high school classes and are targeted at prevention and awareness. But is that enough? Random drug testing in schools can help reduce the number of teen users by preventing kids from experimenting with drugs. If we can apply the use of random drug testing in school, it can help us identify those who are experimenting with alcohol or other drugs. We can also provide incentives for the kids who do pass the random drug test. Those who fail a drug test at school can be punished by not being allowed to participate in any extra activities or clubs that they are involved in. Help me get drug tests approved in your children's schools for these reasons. Drug testing is a method of drug abuse prevention. It is not fair for the children that come to school and work hard while others sitting next to them are high or on drugs. It could potentially save a life and keep kids safe. Let's start out by looking at kids in school experiencing some peer pressure. According to Spurge, the author of Random Drug Testing in School, the ideal time to focus on a drug abuse prevention for teens is before peer pressure and experimentation begin. Students who do not try out drugs can sometimes be considered an outcast or a loser because they do not participate in an illegal activity. If we can put a stop to drugs altogether in schools, children will not have to worry about having to use an illegal substances to fit in. Next, let's look at the importance of having random drug tests in schools for the long run of children. According to Placenta, the author of The Importance of Drug Testing, identifying those who are experimenting with alcohol or other drugs or who are struggling with the disease of addiction can help them in the long run. By drug testing children in school, we can pick out the ones who need our help. Drugs never have a good outcome. They only lead to bigger and worse drugs. Drug testing in schools can let parents know if their children are struggling at an early age, and we ultimately might save a life before an accident happens or an addiction develops. So, what now? If students can pass monthly drug tests, incentives such as early dismissal on Fridays or getting to leave campus for lunch with friends. If a student fails a drug test, they have to sit out any extra activity that they are involved in, such as sports or clubs. If they fail a second one, they are off the team or club that they might be a part of. If they fail a third one, suspensions are then involved. In the article, Drug Testing in Schools, Policies, Practices, and Association with Students' Drug Use, the author stated, according to the Monitoring of the Future study, the rate of any drug use, including marijuana, reported over the last 12 months among 12th grade students fell approximately 50%. This study shows how data in a school was applied by using random drug testing and the drugs fell 50%. If that's not enough evidence to have random drug tests in school, then I don't know what is. For my visual aid, I have part of a clip from the show The Doctors.
The parent, if a kid doesn't want to try drugs, but all his friends are doing it, he's feeling a lot of pressure, he can use this as an excuse that's kind of not within himself. He's like, hey, it's not me, but I'm going to get tested. So I'm not going to do it.
I think it needs to be, and I think you're right, the parents need to be involved with the testing, but I think it really needs to be done because by testing them, they'll be able to get them help if they need it. The kids that are taking the drugs, they are going to lie, and these are kids you would look at, and they may be getting A's until their senior year when they drop off. You don't know, and then the parent doesn't know, and the school doesn't know. Is this something they just tried, or is this a habit that they're addicted to? By finding out, by testing them, they'll be able to get them help if they need it.
I think we would all agree that keeping middle schoolers off of
That's-
drugs
that's
is
the goal.
Is the goal, and just how do you get there is the big controversy.
Now for closing, think about this. As we all know, random drug testing in schools won't be the end of drug and alcohol abuse, but it can help put a dent in it, and it might save a few lives in the long run also. I hope you seriously consider letting random drug tests be in your child's school. Don't be that parent in the dark. Some parents will go against drug testing in schools because they think it's a violation of their privacy and their child's privacy. While I do agree with the statement, what you do in your spare time is your business, but would you want your child going over to a friend's house whose parents look the other way, giving them too much privacy, and they're experimenting with drugs and you not know? Having random drug tests in schools would let you know what students need help and who are struggling. Drug tests in schools also can potentially eliminate these situations from hopefully ever happening. I hope you enjoyed.